We often start with these really um, idealized pictures of marriage, right? Like a fairy tale.
Totally. Perfect beginnings, endless happiness, all that.
But then real life happens. It gets messy.
Yeah,
And it starts to, well, chip away at that perfect picture.
exactly.
So today we're doing a deep dive into a film that just brilliantly peels back those layers. It exposes all the unspoken stuff, the hidden tensions under what looks like a flawless family setup.
And that film is Just Married, a Canada film that just premiered August 23rd, 2025.
Yeah, and based on everything we've looked at, it sounds like it's much more than just a movie. It's a real conversation starter.
Oh, absolutely. And our mission today is really to unpack how this film, directed by Arunkumar M. and Sabu Aloysius,
Yeah.
starring Pruthvi Ambaar and Manvitha Kamath, how it navigates all those complexities so well.
We've got quite a bit to draw on. Early reviews, critical analysis, director interviews.
Right, and even some wider context on, modern relationship pressures in urban India. We
Right.
want to pull out the key insights and give you a lens to maybe reflect on relationships today.
Precisely. Because
Yeah.
what really stood out for me is that this isn't your standard romance.
No.
And it's not quite an explosive thriller either, not in the usual sense.
Something in between, more nuanced.
Yeah, like having a really honest conversation. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but it pulls you in. It feels resonant.
That's a great way to put it. And it's quite deliberate how they build this initial dream, this perfect start, only to then, very slowly, very carefully, show you what's actually bubbling underneath. It's a calculated setup.
Okay, so let's talk about that setup first. What does that initial world look like?
Well, we start in Bengaluru. It's bustling, urban.
And our main characters?
Anirudh, he's a software engineer. And Ananya, she's described as this spirited marketing professional.
At their wedding?
Oh, it's portrayed as just, joyous, laughter, rituals, this big promise of a future together.
The classic just married picture. Like postcard perfect.
Exactly that. And that idyllic start is really important, narratively. But then, the honeymoon glow fades.
Ah, here it comes.
Yeah, almost without you noticing at first, you start seeing these tiny cracks appear.
Like what kind of cracks?
Well, you see Anirudh grappling with the pressure to provide. That's a huge thing for many couples today, right?
Definitely. That pressure is very real.
And at the same time, Ananya is trying to balance her own career goals with maybe more traditional expectations of marriage.
So it's not just misunderstandings, it's deeper.
It goes way beyond that. It really escalates into this psychological tug of war.
A tug of war. That sounds intense.
It is. You get unspoken anxieties, power dynamics shifting subtly, just this growing tension that makes you feel, well, uncomfortable, but it's dramatically effective.
And the film doesn't give easy answers, right?
Not at all. Instead, it starts revealing secrets, things that genuinely threaten to pull their whole relationship apart. It really forces you, the viewer, to question trust, communication, not just for them, but maybe in your own life, too. It's quite unflinching about how fragile connection can be.
Wow. Okay, to carry that kind of weight, the performances must be crucial.
Absolutely central. The actors really had to deliver.
So, Pruthvi Ambar as Anirudh. What's the consensus on his performance?
It's being called career-defining, really. People are praising his subtlety.
Subtlety, how so?
He captures this quiet inner turmoil, this guy torn between what society expects and what he personally wants or feels.
Okay.
His eyes, his dialogue delivery, it's all very measured. He shows vulnerability without losing that relatability. You kind of understand him even when his choices get questionable.
That sounds like a complex performance to pull off.
Very. It avoids easy labels.
And Manvitha Kamath as Ananya. How does she match that?
She's equally captivating. Critics loved how she balanced strength and fragility.
Okay, the modern woman navigating it all.
Exactly. Love, independence, career, expectations. She embodies that struggle. You see her determination, but also her vulnerability. It feels incredibly real.
And between the two of them, the chemistry.
Yeah.
Because that tug of war needs sparks, right?
Oh, the chemistry is electric. That's a word used a lot, especially in the silences.
Right, when nothing is said but everything is felt.
Precisely. Those moments feel incredibly authentic, like real relationship dynamics where so much is unspoken. That authenticity really grounds the film's emotional punch.
And I imagine the supporting cast helps ground it too. You mentioned Akith Kumar and Anu Prabhakar.
Absolutely crucial. Akith Kumar as Anirudh's father, Anu Prabhakar as Ananya's mother. They bring in that whole layer of family tension.
The family context, yeah. Which is always huge.
It really grounds the story in that specific Indian family context. They provide the societal backdrop, the weight of expectations, making Anirudh and Ananya's personal drama feel even more tangible and relatable.
It sounds like a really strong ensemble cast.
Definitely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Behind the camera, the directors, Arunkumar M. and Sabu Aloysius. What was their approach here?
Well, they talked about wanting to create something both intimate and universal. And what's really interesting is that this is actually a remake.
Oh, really? Of what?
A 2020 Malayalam film called Love, but they didn't just copy it.
They made it their own.
Exactly. They infused it with Kannada flavors, the feel of Bengaluru, the busy streets, the quiet middle-class homes. They really adapted it for a new cultural context.
That localization sounds important.
Right.
What about the pacing? You mentioned it wasn't an explosive thriller.
No, it's more of a slow burn, which is a deliberate choice.
To let things simmer?
Yeah. It lets the emotions build, lets you sink into the characters' internal worlds, which can feel quite claustrophobic sometimes, actually.
And visually, how did they convey the mood shifts?
Lighting was key. Soft, warm light for moments of connection, love. Then starker, colder lighting when conflict arises. It visually shows that growing distance without needing dialogue. It's pretty sophisticated filmmaking.
That makes sense. And the overall sensory experience. Cinematography, music.
Satya Hegde's cinematography got a lot of praise for capturing Bengaluru's vibe, both the energy and the intimacy. Lots of close-ups, really lingering on faces to catch those fleeting emotions.
Makes you feel like you're right there with them.
Yeah, almost like a third person in the room. And the music by Agam Agrawal is apparently quite understated but powerful.
Doesn't overpower the scenes.
No, it amplifies the tension subtly. And then there's this one song, Ninapina Hudugi, that apparently everyone loves. Soulful, poetic lyrics by Kaviraj captures the film's bittersweet feel.
Sounds like it all works together really effectively. The story, the acting, the direction, the technical side.
Yeah, it seems very cohesive.
So when we bring it all together, what's the real heart of this film? What are the big themes it's tackling?
I think most profoundly, it explores just how fragile human connections can be.
Fragility.
Yeah. And digging into that means looking at trust, identity, and all those societal pressures that shape relationships, especially today.
It sounds like it's holding up a mirror to modern life.
It really is, particularly urban Indian life. But the themes resonate more broadly. It also really dismantles this illusion of perfection.
The idea that happy families have no problems.
Exactly. It challenges that completely. It suggests real strength isn't about pretending flaws don't exist, but about actually confronting them, seeing the cracks and deciding to work through them. That honesty really struck a chord.
And you mentioned gender dynamics earlier. Ananya's struggle.
Yes, it handles that with nuance. Her trying to balance independence with being a partner that's such a real navigation for many women. The film doesn't offer easy answers there either, just portrays the complexity.
And the psychological thriller aspect.
Yeah.
How does that fit in without feeling, cheap?
That's key. The suspense isn't from external shocks. It comes from the characters themselves, their secrets, their motivations, their internal conflicts boiling over.
So the tension feels earned.
Absolutely. It keeps you hooked because you're invested in them and what truth might come out next. It's suspense born from the relationship itself.
It sounds like it really captures the pressures young urban couples face. Careers, families, expectations.
It does. And it uses Bengaluru effectively the mix of modern life and traditional roots that makes it incredibly relatable for many.
Okay, but there's one element we haven't touched on much, which apparently makes this film feel quite revolutionary.
Ah, yes.
The counseling aspect.
Right. There's a scene where Anirudh and Ananya actually consider going to counseling.
Which is huge. You rarely see that explored so directly in mainstream Indian cinema.
What's the impact of including that?
It helps normalize seeking professional help. It
Yeah.
frames it as a sign of strength, not weakness. That's a powerful message, genuinely helping to break down stigma around mental and emotional health in relationships. It's subtle, but really significant.
That really does feel boundary pushing. So, summing up, why is Just Married considered such an important film? For Kannada cinema, maybe even beyond.
Well, it's seen as a thought-provoking, emotionally honest film that really pushes creative boundaries within Kannada cinema.
And its potential reach.
Huge potential for wider success, even pan-India. Because the core themes love, trust, pressure, vulnerability, they're universal. They resonate regardless of the specific setting. It delivers its message without being heavy-handed. So it's a standout film. And for anyone listening who might not be familiar with Kannada cinema,
This sounds like an excellent entry point. Relatable characters, themes that hit home, Plus, you get a glimpse into Karnataka's culture.
All packed into about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And apparently it's not all heavy. There's some humor, too.
Yeah, moments of lightness, like Anirudh apparently making a mess of cooking for Ananya.
Right.
Little relatable moments that give you a breather.
A good blend, then. Depth, tension, but also relatable humanity.
Exactly. It's a cinematic experience that seems to really stick with you. This deep dive has definitely shown it portrays love as, well, messy, complicated, beautiful.
And something that requires real courage to navigate.
Precisely.
Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought to chew on. If love really is all those things messy, complicated, beautiful, what truths are we willing to confront in our own relationships to truly fight for it?
That's the question, isn't it? Definitely go see Just Married if you get the chance.